morning and welcome to the most important meal of the day, the Breakfast Cafe, where we give you a dose of inspiration and motivation. I am Olumide Shokoya, welcoming you to another beautiful bumper edition. Of course, I'm not the only pilot on this beautiful plane. I have my co-pilot, Vivian Oguche. Good morning, how you doing?
I'm fine, Olumide. I like it when you say it is the most important meal of the day. Gosh, it sounds yummy to me. I hope it does to you too. My name is Vivian Oguche, like Olumide said, and it's always a pleasure to have you jump on board with us. So if you're game, let's get the show on the road after this short break. All right, this segment is called Etiquette. It's all about the do's and don'ts. And we practically talk about just anything under the planet or on the face of the planet, under the sun. Today we're talking about dating etiquette. So, in a relationship, the excitement of early dating can evolve into a deeper bond, but it's important not to lose sight of the little things that keep the spark alive. I like that word, the spark. Over time, it's easy to fall into comfortable patterns, but practicing good etiquette helps keep the relationship healthy and fulfilling. Good dating etiquette in a relationship is all about showing your partner that you care and value them. It's the small gestures, like putting your phone away during dinner, actively listening when they talk about their day, or planning a surprise date night that remind them that they are loved and appreciated. Here are some guidelines to keep in mind, and Olumide, I pass the baton to you.
All right, the first one is communicate openly and honestly. Now, make it a habit to discuss your feelings, thoughts, and concerns with each other. Being open about what's on your mind can prevent misunderstanding and strengthen trust. Let me take it again, just for record says.
Yeah.
Communicate openly and honestly. Make it a habit to discuss your feelings, thoughts, and concerns with each other. Be open about what's on your mind. Being open about what's in your mind can prevent misunderstanding and strengthen trust. The reason why I'm saying it again is because sometimes, people believe that some certain people, some certain gender can read the other gender's mind. So that's why I had to read it again.
Olumide, are you pointing fingers at me?
I'm not.
Because I know I've said on this platform that initially, I've repented.
Okay.
Initially, I thought my mate, my partner,
Yes.
could read my mind. Or I thought he should be able to read my
your-
mind. But it dawned on me that, nah, it doesn't work that way.
All right, so let's move on. Practice active listening. Well, I think this goes for the men. Now, show genuine interest in what your partner has to say. Put down your phone. Make eye contact and respond thoughtfully to demonstrate that you value their perspective. I think one of the key powers you have is eye contact, looking straight into your partner's eye. You can actually tell if that person is lying or not.
But are you sure? Can you tell just from, the look of the eyes if someone is lying or not?
It makes them feel uncomfortable.
And then what happens? They drop their eyes.
Yes.
But sometimes, it just might not be dishonesty. It just might be, there's an intensity when you look someone eyeball to eyeball.
Yes.
Sometimes it just makes people feel uncomfortable. It just might not be that they are lying.
All right, now moving on, we have make time for each other. Life can get busy, but prioritizing quality time together is essential. Schedule regular date nights or find new activities to enjoy together, even if it's just a walk in the park. I know it's been said that when you are chasing a woman, you take her out on dates and all that. But once you get into a relationship, it's almost like campaign over. And you are now.
That's an interesting analogy.
Do you
But I
understand?
think you skipped one, which is very important. Show appreciation.
Yes.
It is so important. Regularly express gratitude for the little things your partner does, whether it's making dinner or supporting you during a tough day. A simple thank you can go a long way. For me, this is better than silver or gold.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. Do you want to continue?
Yes. Now we have this one. Respect each other's boundaries. Understand and honor your partner's personal space and boundaries. Whatever it's needing time, whether it's needing time rather alone, sexual boundaries, avoiding invasive questions, or discussing certain topics. Mutual respect is vital for a healthy relationship. So respect each other's boundaries. Some couples can go through each other's phone. Some don't find it ideal. So you have to, understand what your partner likes and what your partner doesn't. Now, moving on, we have be supportive. Now, encourage your partner's goals and dreams. Being their biggest cheerleader shows that you can care about their happiness and success. So whatever you think, you should be able to even motivate your partner. If he or she has a dream, motivate, even go do your own personal research and say, okay, this is what I found out. Why not do this, do this? Try and push them forward. It always goes a long way. Yeah. Avoid talking about your past partners. This is a trap we all fall into.
Your ex.
Exactly, your ex. Expect it is necessary, as it can make your partner. Okay, let me take that again. Avoid talking about your partner's ex, except it is necessary, as it can make your partner uncomfortable, jealous, or even cause an argument. Yes, it is a trap that we all fall into. Avoid it. Always try and avoid. Don't even try and compare, especially in arguments. When couples argue, you'll be like, oh, this is what it actually diminishes a man's ego, and I don't know what it does for the female gender.
Oh my gosh, it does the same thing. It's totally disrespectful and uncalled for, really. Yeah.
Now, let's move on. Now, keeping the romance alive. Surprise your partner with small gestures of love, like leaving sweet notes. Well, I don't know these days whether that'll work anymore. Planning spontaneous outings.
No, but before you continue,
yes.
Before you talk about planning spontaneous outings, in this day and age where you don't have people writing on paper anymore, you could drop a sweet text message every morning.
Is that really work these days?
Yeah, or a WhatsApp message. Yeah, if you can't write a note, drop a message. It works.
Or $100 bill.
Did you guys hear what he said? Or $100 bill. Olumide, money is not everything.
All right. now, let me take that again. Keep the romance alive. Surprise your partner with small gestures of love, like leaving sweet notes, planning spontaneous outings, simple compliments on outfits, and simply saying, I love you regularly. Try to bring gifts along, no matter how small, e.g. flowers, money. You saw it there, not me. Clothes, etc.
Wait, Olumide. You're looking for wahala this morning.
Now, we have this one. It says, be mindful of your words. Choose your words carefully, especially during disagreements. I love this particular one. Choose your words carefully, especially during arguments. Now, avoid hurtful language and aim for constructive conversations that focus on resolving issues rather than placing blame. Do not gaslight or manipulate your partner. I will not say more. I think you can continue from there.
So where did you stop now? Number what?
Number 11.
All right. So let me continue with number 12. Handle conflict maturely. Disagreements are normal. Did you guys hear? Disagreements are normal, but how you handle them matters. Approach conflicts with a calm mindset. Listen to each other's points of view and work toward finding a solution together. 13, celebrate each other's achievements. Yay, this is a good one. Whether big or small, acknowledge and celebrate your partner's successes. Also remember and celebrate special days like anniversaries, birthdays, etc. 14, stay curious, right? Relationships evolve, so continue to learn about each other. Ask questions about their thoughts, feelings, and experiences to deepen your understanding of one another. Also, respect social media boundaries. Right? Respect social media boundaries. Discuss what you're both comfortable sharing online. Respecting privacy and being mindful of what you post can prevent misunderstandings and protect your relationship. Right, Olumide?
Yes, it is very right.
Yeah.
Now, this one says, avoid invasion of partner's privacy. I think that is self-explanatory. Now, avoid touching your partner's belongings if he or she is not comfortable. Do not go through their phones, messages, etc., as it can be disrespectful. Now, it depends on how close and how free you are around your partner. I don't mind leaving my phone on and you checking it. Whatever you find, hey, no problem. I can explain whatever is there.
Okay.
So whatever you find, I can defend it. But some people are not comfortable with it. So it depends on different relations. I've been in relationships that I never wanted my partner to check my phone. And it wasn't because I was keeping anything. I just didn't like that idea. Do you understand? So that's just it. Now, be cautious with public display of affection, PDA. know your partner's comfort level. I remember
Yes.
there was a particular relationship I was in, and she had to ask, "Are you comfortable with PDA?" I was like, "Why?" I noticed that you don't hold my hands when we work. So I had to learn those things. That, okay, some ladies like when you hold their hands when
Yeah.
you're in public, you know.
When you give them a peck
I give
or
them a peck,
a kiss on the forehead.
kiss on the
Gosh,
forehead,
it's so good.
You know,
Yeah.
even though at times when I see people doing that, I used to make fun of them. Like, look, at these ones are just 2 months in. Don't worry. Once they are 6 months or 1 year, they understand.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's not true. Now, the last one says, respect cultural backgrounds and religious belief. You should be able to respect your partner's religious beliefs and find a middle ground. If you can't walk away nicely. I remember there was a particular relationship I was in, and it had to do with religion. She was a Muslim, I was a Christian, and you know, there was back and forth and all that. And I asked her a very simple question. Okay, fine. What if we get married and allow our children to pick religions? She was like, no. I said, well, then I think religion is the problem, not us.
Wow. Wow. So,
You know.
so you guys parted ways?
Yeah, we parted ways.
Gosh.
So I think that's all we have. But lastly, it says honor promises and commitment. Honor promises. I'm telling you, this is the biggest secret for in any relationship.
Yeah.
Honor she will remind you. I think that's all.
She'll remind you. You know,
Yes.
I like the way you ended it. Honor promises and commitments. Commitment is key. When you say, I'm going to do this, do it. It goes a long way. It speaks louder than words. And on that note, we wrap this segment up. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the national dailies. Stay with us. It's a breakfast cafe right here on High Impact TV. I am Vivian, and right opposite me is Olumide. So, like we said earlier on, this segment is where we're going to take a look at the national dailies, and I begin with the Punch. Major headline here talks about petrol rising cost. Yeah, marketers write Dangote over bulk purchase deal. Just one writer to that story. Ipman, Petron, refineries, 500 million PMS reserves queues in Abuja after NNPCL's price hike. Just above that story, though, we have Ondo Gulf poll. Yeah, stories about that. PDP, APC trade blame over campaign violence. You also have SDP upbeat as a deputy governorship candidate defects to APC. Wow! Imagine just before an election. Yeah, the deputy governor,
a lot of lobbying
the
must have
candidate
been done.
defects. Yes, it's crazy. Above the masthead, though, we have Fubara appeals as court stops Rivers allocation, and right beside that,
before we move on, I don't get this. This was quite interesting when I got this news that a court in Abuja has stopped the Rivers allocation. Maybe when our guest comes in,
You would ask.
We would ask.
You know what this means?
Yeah,
it means everything comes to a standstill.
Yes, it only happened during former President former President Olusegun Obasanjo when Tinubu was governor. But that wasn't even. That was kind of. It wasn't a court that stopped it. That was just done
the
indirectly.
Federal government, yes.
They just stopped
because
it
of the LCDAs that were created. Now, one of the reasons I read about, an analyst said, Fubara had presented the budget to a 4-man state assembly. That's unconstitutional.
Okay.
Yeah. He was saying maybe this is one of the reasons. But I like the fact that you said this is one of the things we're going to be talking about when our guest comes on board. Yeah, so there's this other story here, dude, that might catch your fancy. Striking varsity workers vow shutdown or showdown as federal government rebuffs talks. Also, Tinubu appoints Oluyede acting COAS as Lagbaja undergoes treatment. So Lagbaja wasn't dead after all,
yes,
but he was ill and he's undergoing treatment, and then he has a replacement. But let's take a look at this picture on the front page of the Punch. You have, some bullets, yeah? Let's find out what it's about. Police arrest 1,246 arms dealers, kidnappers, and recover 3,172 ammunition in October. And you see a number of suspects being displayed here. But it is said that you don't display faces of suspects until they are proven guilty. Yeah, so maybe the police will want to take note of this.
Yes.
We also have this story here. Bianca Ojukwu, other ministers set for swearing in after Senate confirmation. You know, this appointment, the Bianca Ojukwu appointment, Olumide, is it like a concession to the East, to calm the nerves, especially with the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is still in prison?
Give one and take one.
Yeah, probably it is. But let's continue. Yeah, this one says, commuters demand quick repair of damaged Lagos Bridge. Let's find out where you can get details of that story. Page 5 it is. Last but not least, food inflation. 7 imported wheat vessels arrive Nigeria. Isn't it an irony, Olumide, when the North is the hub of the production of wheat? Why are we importing?
Why are we still importing fuel? It's the same question.
Right?
So, I mean, it can only happen in Nigeria, and until we get it right, it will continue to happen.
And that wraps it up for us on the front page of the Punch.
Now, moving on to The Guardian, it has almost the same story as that of the Punch. It says here, Fubara Wike face-off, new twist as Rivers stakeholders fault allocation suspension order. That's on page 6 of The Guardian newspaper. And of course, you can see the faces of 3 people, Fubara, Wike, and I think the chief judge there. Now, we have this one there. We have TCN restores power to the North. Congratulations. As IHRC says, 1.5 trillion naira lost to blackout. That's on Panorama page 2. Congratulations that power has been restored back to the North. Now, we have NAAT may join NASU SANO strike over salary arrears, issues ultimatum. That's on pages 3, news page 3.
Before you go ahead, though, one of the things Sarah and I talked about on this platform was the fact that after over 2 days, the federal government has not even reached out to the striking people. Why?
Well, it's sad. You know, that was why, if you remember when we were talking about the new education minister, blah, 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 I just felt that it had nothing to do with whether the education minister, a new education minister is being in place and all that. It had no effect. It's the federal government keeping their promises. That's all it, because in a nation that should be working, I don't see the reason why you should not be paying salaries. This is the same nation that they are issuing out orders that if you do not pay minimum wage, you face the consequences. What about you? They are not even paying the current wage.
That's speaking from both sides of your mouth. Really.
I mean, it's like the pot calling the kettle black.
I'm telling
you. Let's quickly move on. We have this one. It says, energy cost, Japa syndrome will threaten survival of varsity system. And you wonder why. That's a $1 billion question. That's on news page 7 of The Guardian. Tax reform bills, Ndume Arewa Group lock horns as NGF traditional rulers meet. That's on news page 6. Now, below that we have governance. Mo Ibrahim report scores Nigeria low. That's on news page 5. Now, we have other stories here. Tinubu appoints Oluyede as acting army chief. Panorama page 2 has that story. Elected officials selfish, undermining citizens' welfare. Guess who's coming from? The former INEC chairman, Jega laments. That's on news page 8. About 3 more stories to go. INEC blames non-trial of offenders on outdated laws and others. That's on news page 5. Beside that, Senate confirms Tinubu's 7 ministerial nominees. That's on news page 3. Sexual harassment. Rep proposed 14-year jail term for offenders. That's on Panorama page 2. And lastly, Obaseki, Zamfara governor and others advocate sustainability of project. That's on news page 8. And that's all we have right now coming from the Guardian newspaper.
Well, I've got the Daily Trust major headline here. Dangote marketers in fresh row over sale of petrol. We've got 2 riders to that story. We are ready to buy from private refinery, but there's a big but there. This is coming from the marketers. You know what the but is about? You want to know? Just go straight to page 4. Nigerians demand fuel price reduction and availability. Page 4 too has details of that. Below that, we have Tinubu appoints Oluyede acting chief of army staff. We also have Senate confirms Dingyadi, Suwaiba, Maiha, 4 others as ministers. Put Bianca Ojukwu there too. Don't take everything IMF, World Bank tells you. Jega tells FG. I'm so glad someone is saying this out loud. Let me take it again. Don't take everything IMF, World Bank tells you. Jega, former INEC chief, is telling the federal government. Also, we have this one. Abducted female doctor, nephew regained freedom after 10 months. This is the kind of news report I love to see and talk about. Congratulations to those who have been set free. Now, above the masthead, Atiku cautions as court stops monthly releases to Rivers. I like the fact that Atiku is cautioning the federal government. It's a dangerous thing.
It's almost a time bomb. It's a ticking bomb.
It is. Not in this climate where you have very tough economic reforms ongoing and Nigerians are shouting. Well, let's continue with the front page of the Daily Trust. This one here says, power restored in Kano, Plateau, Bauchi, Gombe, Benue, Kaduna, and Nasarawa. And that wraps it up for us on the front page of the Daily Trust.
And lastly, it's the Vanguard newspaper this morning. It says here, fuel prices increases pushing Nigerians to limit. Fuel price increases pushing Nigerians to the limit. This is coming from the Nigerian Labour Congress. It's on page 5. We have a couple of writers to that story. It says government shouldn't be surprised if citizens react in unexpected manner. Subsidy removal worsening production cost, transportation, and others. This is coming from Employers Group. Marketers spend days at Dangote Refinery buying through NNPCL. This is coming from Ipman.
I want to understand. So the marketers must buy the Dangote fuel through the NNPCL. I thought the NNPCL has said it was no longer a middleman.
You know, there's been a lot of theories here and there. You know, first of all, they said there was fuel shortage. Dangote, they came out to say, there's no fuel shortage. I have lots of fuel. The Ipman too said, oh, if you have a lot of fuel, then why can't we buy from you? I mean, it's a whole lot of intricacies in all, and until, I guess, until this particular stock of fuel is being sold out, maybe Nigerians will heap a sigh of relief or not, but fingers crossed. Now, moving on, we have a picture here. The caption says, Adebutu Media Resource Center Commission in NIJ. Now, just above the masthead, we have money supply increases 64% to 108.95 trillion naira. Just below that, Atiku, Masop, others warn as court stops monthly allocation to Rivers. One writer to that story, it says, Atta-led committee restore peace between Wike, Fubara. This is coming from Pandef. That's on page 12. We have this one, workers poorer now despite pay increases. Oshomole lament. I'm glad this is even coming from someone in the current administration. Oshomole is saying that workers poorer now despite pay increase. And that has to do with, everything going up, inflation basically. Now we have this one. It says Tinubu appoints Major General Olufemi Oluyede as acting Chief of Army Staff. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. We still have a couple of stories. How poultry packaging curtails fixed prices. FCCPC boss Tunji Bello. That's on page 9. Below that, we have federal government justifies 4 toll gates on Abuja, Kefi, Makurdi Express. That's on page 9. Very exhausting. Now we have this one, crash. NCAA dismisses report on choppers' airworthiness. That's on page 9. We are determined to flush out terrorists in Nigeria. Defense Minister. That's the person of Matawale. We have this one. That's on page 39. All right, we have one of our regular customer, regular caller, I beg your pardon, Michael from Abuja. Good morning, Michael, and how are you doing?
Good morning, Lumide. How are you?
I'm fine. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Vivian.
Good morning, Michael. Nice to have you on board. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Well, I want to start with the Wike Afubara issue. In Rivers State, this state is becoming enough now. Like everyone that had over had issue with the one, they are all the presidential or professor or whatever. But the issue is that when we can reform this fight and concentrate on SDC as a minister? Because it's annoying. Time is going. Allow this guy to concentrate. He's the governor. Concentrate on SDC. Let's concentrate on River State. Before you know it, 4 years is gone. They will be looking back, what has this guy done? They will not be excuse to people like, because I was having issue with Wicked. Allow this guy to concentrate and do it. And do the work this was appointed as a governor to do for Rivers people. Not fighting, chasing allocation and all of that. It's annoying. I think this might have to stop. Let's some of them just be humble enough and say, okay, guy, I'm not doing this again. Let this reign in River State. And concerning the actual appointment as a minister, when I was discussing with somebody, I said this is just a way indirectly to capture that state. Because if you look at that woman, is just a very strong person in Africa. And that is a major party in Anambra. So it's somehow indirectly targeting 2027. Just like as Wike as a minister, as a PDP member and a minister under APC. We have got a strong APGA member and a minister under APC. You cannot expect that woman come 2027 to work against APC because they want to protect her position as a minister. Definitely, or it will be somehow like a party issue, like working for APC and being an APGA member.
You have a point, Michael. You have a point. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. And let's take the last report here from the Vanguard. It says ministerial appointment Senate confirms Bianca, Odumegu, Ojukwu, and 6 others. And I think, okay, we have one more from sports page 38 of the Vanguard. It says FIFA under 20 WWC. We have NFL proud of Flamingos outing. This is coming from Sanusi. I think that's all we have right now coming from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. So we're going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the program. Please stay tuned.
Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea? Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
The future is now. Yes, I said it. Is there really a future? Or is it just a facade of hope created to make you less docile? What if what you call the future is every time you're alive the next second, every time you impact someone to live somewhere? What if the future is not so far a projection as you've always thought? What if the future is a developing script of your life and you are the living proof? What if the future is this very moment and you are living in it? The uncertainty of the future bedevils your very existence. Yet every day you wake up, shake up, and make up. Time is not on your side, except the wristwatch on your wrist by the side. Yet you stall and stand tall, knowing that to see the future, you must stay alive. No one dictates the future better than you. The future is yours to determine. Call the shots.
Welcome back. It's still the newspaper review on High Impact Television. Don't forget you can also call in and take part in the conversation. The phone lines are open and available for you to call in and give us your input. Tell us what's happening in your area, or tell us if you want to take part in the conversation. Let us know. But before we go on, I'd like us to talk about this particular one on the Punch newspaper. It says assault. Abia Rep trial begins November 8 as the Abia Rep got 500,000 naira bill. It has to do with the Abia Rep who assaulted a driver and all that. He's been arraigned. Let me quickly read the report here. It says a Kuje Magistrate Court in Federal Capital Territory has adjourned till Friday, November 8, to begin the hearing on charges brought against a member of the House of Representatives representing Aba North and South Federal Constituency of Abia State, Alexander Ikweche, after granting him bail in the sum of 500,000 naira. Quite interesting, that amount, 500,000. But I think while he's been arraigned, while and all that, I think the House of Rep or the Senate should also investigate this matter. There should be some form of sanction, because in other crimes, there will be sanctions for this. I mean, he represents a particular institution, and whatever you do outside, portrays that institution. So they have to, like if you remember the case of Elisha Abu and all that, I mean,
but aren't you impressed that this wasn't swept under the carpet, that the lawmaker actually is being prosecuted?
Well, until I see, prosecution these days in Nigeria sometimes could just be a charade, or could just be
it could be.
It could be, until I see the end of it. They could just do all this, and at the end of the day, he walks, and he's been given some form of stipend or fine to pay.
But let's not project into the future.
Yes. Let's not
Currently, the prosecution is on.
Yes.
And I'm glad that, you know, the lawmaker in question has eaten the humble pie.
And he has
It might
apologized.
serve- yes, he
said,
has.
I'm human. Well, we all know we are human. We are all human.
But the
and all
thing
that.
is, humans make mistakes, don't they?
Yes, but it's the level of confidence or the things he said. It's not him slapping. It's what he said in that video that really got Nigerians upset. And the names he mentioned, he called on the Inspector General of Police, call him, tell him to come and tell him to come here. You understand? He even mentioned his name, so he was confident that he can get away with it. And he made the grave mistake he made was that statement when he said, "I can make you disappear." It creates some conspiracy theories in the minds of different people. That what does he mean? It might not be actually lethal. That okay, I might take care of this person, but you know that statement questions. It brings a lot of questions. That what do you mean by saying you can make someone disappear? Have you done it before? Or have you seen someone do it, or do you actually mean it, or are you is it just a threat?
Yeah, I mean, disappear. It's so huge. It's a big word.
It's a big
what
word.
do you mean? But the thing is, let's not do a shallow analysis of this. Look beneath it. It showed that there was a lot of anger in the lawmaker. It means that every single person, whether a lawmaker or a common Nigerian on the street, must be very careful.
Yes.
Try not to be, how will I say it, aggressive. Now, if you were in the shoes of the lawmaker, once the boat driver, I beg your pardon, once the driver had brought out his phone and started filming, you should have withdrawn a little bit and say, okay, let's talk about this. Instead, he even got angrier and said, do whatever. Now look where he is now.
Because he felt he was above the law. That was why he made mention of the Inspector General of Police. He even told him to call the Inspector General of Police and let him come. So I mean, it's the confidence for me. I don't know whether you saw this other viral video of Wike also. He was driving by. I think it had to do with some particular land or something, land or another. And you could see in that video, you could see the way he was talking to people. He was telling them, "Shut up." That is it because I am talking to you. You need to watch that video. It shows how these people view people. He told, "I am talking. You do not talk." Or is it because I came down? Is it because I'm talking to you? He said so many things, and you begin to wonder. Well, fine, you are not elected, you are appointed, but it still doesn't mean you serve these people. That's why you are there, and it speaks a lot about this particular administration. It speaks a lot about what they view, whether they are for the people, by the people, or not.
You know, I cannot. I think you're a mind reader, really, Olumide, because you just took the words right out of my mouth. Now, elected officials, as well as their appointees,
Yes.
they are servants of the people,
Exactly.
not lords and masters. They serve the people. So for the FCT minister to say what he said, I'm going to look for that video myself. I do hope we have it as one of the trending videos. We'll discuss one of these days. It is an eyesore, and it must be looked into as well. But I want to draw your attention, Olumide, to this other story, major headline across board. Really, new twist as Rivers stakeholders fault allocation suspension order. Now, not only politicians now who are currently in the cycle, the political cycle,
Yes.
we even have the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, now jumping on board to say, guys, this is dangerous.
It is dangerous. It is very dangerous. Well, on the flip side, you might look at it, okay, Rivers has oil. They should be able to look for resources. But it is actually dangerous because it will go down in history under Tinubu's name, that under Tinubu's regime or administration. So Tinubu really needs to listen to analysts, experts, and call this man to order. He really needs to do that, except he's the one encouraging it, which I want to believe that's not the case. But he really needs to, because all these things will be written in your own administration. It won't be that, oh, Wike did it. To be during President Tinubu's administration. This is
So
what
are
happened.
you laying the blame squarely at the doorstep of Wike?
Who pays the piper?
Yeah, but Wike is not the federal government.
Definitely, he's not the federal government, but
Yeah.
he was appointed by someone, and he's doing the bidding of someone.
Yeah, but the thing is, let's make it clear that it's not Wike that's withholding the allocation for Rivers.
It's the federal government.
It is the federal government.
Definitely.
But it is rumored, that Wike has played his hand in this matter.
In this matter.
So we do hope that eventually the federal government will listen to both sides, and make a very objective decision and ensure that the people do not suffer.
And I'm still yet, I'm looking for, maybe one of these will have a lawyer. I want to really understand how a court sometimes in Abuja can pass a verdict on a state that is supposed to be governed by itself, and that judgment stands. I mean, we really need to look into our constitutions well. We need to look into our laws well. If we want a state to handle their business their own way, we really need to let them handle it their way. Not that a court in a particular state will give a judgment, then you quickly run to Abuja and get another court judgment. It's making a mockery of the judiciary. But like I said, they really need to look into this because, I mean, history has a way of repeating itself. It has happened now. It might happen again in another administration, and it will continue like that. We need to really nip it in the bud and see how we can, stop this whole thing.
Absolutely. There's this other story I would like for us to talk about. Mo Ibrahim reports calls Nigeria low in security, rule of law, and governance, in general. Let me just do a little background for you guys. The 2024 Mo Ibrahim Index on African Governance has unveiled challenges in Nigeria's governance landscape. Now, according to a statement by the Public Relations Officer, a Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity, Victor Agi, Nigeria ranks, listen, 33rd among 53 African nations with a score of 45.7 out of 100 and has experienced a minus 1.4 decline in its governance score between 2014 and 2023. Now, this is not a good one for Nigeria at all. And when Mo Ibrahim speaks, you listen. Yeah?
Yes, I like to take this one from the Vanguard newspaper, the one that has two stories. The first one, fuel price increases pushing Nigerians to the limit. This is coming for Labour. I saw another video of Omoyele Sowore and Deji Adeyanju, and they made a very important statement. They said that all this while we've been told that subsidy has been removed, we've saved a lot of money. We should be, by now, because it's over a year, be seeing changes. We should be seeing beautiful constructed roads. We should be seeing so many things. What has been done to that 1 trillion naira that has been saved?
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's monthly or quarterly. What has Nigeria, what has the federal government done with that money? And why are we still borrowing?
That's the thing. This is $1 million question because you see, the removal of subsidy was so that federal government could become richer.
Exactly.
So the federal government is richer now, but all we hear is that at the end of the month, they share the money between themselves and the states, and they go home smiling to the bank, and the citizens are suffering. So what's the essence?
Exactly. I mean, they really need to come out and tell us what has been done with that money. They've kept mum for a very long time.
Yeah.
And, when you remove the fuel subsidy, there was the 6-month, wages, something for civil servant. I think it was 35,000 naira and all that. And you brought up different other things, and still now, Nigerians have not been able to. And we thought that, okay, I think the goal then was after 6 months, everything would have been regulated and all that. Then Dangote came in, and, it's like, a spanner was thrown into the works, and everything just spiraled out of control. Now we are getting the report that NNPC has put another peg at 1,070 naira on fuel. But we thought NNPC we are operating in a deregulated market, so why are they still putting a peg on petrol? I mean, it's a whole lot. And now we are moving into CNG, which I think we need to really first solve the fuel issue before we move into CNG. Because CNG, like we've got seen the report, is quite dangerous. It's explosion. Unlike fuel, both are actually flammable, both are actually dangerous. But I think CNG has to do with explode. It just explodes.
It's explosive. Yeah, but the irony of it is, I read not just too long ago that Dangote is the billionaire himself,
Yes.
is supporting the federal government on this transition to CNG. And he even actually supported the federal government with some money.
Yes.
So for some reason, he's in support.
I was talking to Sarah and I was like, Dangote, you've not seen enough.
Yeah, now adding more to
Yeah,
your
no,
plate.
I didn't want. I mean, sort this well, but it's good that he's a real patriot. He has dreams for Nigeria. He really wants to see Nigeria grow. But I hope that his dreams are not hindered, that it will be actualized. If Dangote really wants to go into CNG, it's a whole lot. It means he believes in it. It means CNG can be the future.
Yeah.
But the fear now is, as it stands now, it's been sold 200, 300, 400. We will actually still get, because before Dangote came in, fuel was like 650 or thereabout. When Dangote came in, it skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So,
So
is it a good thing that Dangote came in
that's
or
the thing,
not?
or is it a bad thing? And then I just want to talk a little on what you said earlier on, that Dangote is a patriot and he has dreams for Nigeria. I kind of agree, but there are a lot of people I know who will pick bones with that particular statement to say Dangote is a businessman who has enjoyed monopoly, as when it comes to business in Nigeria, and that he knows what he does because he knows how to calculate. So it's a good strategist.
Definitely.
Really.
But let's not also forget that Ghana now is also eyeing Dangote refinery. And, well, in the long run, I see it's a win-win for Dangote. Either he sells to Nigeria or he sells to another country. It's a win-win for him. So I think that's just it.
Absolutely. Well, let's continue with the front pages of the newspaper now. We're about to wrap up. But this other story that I would like for us to quickly take a look at is this one. It says, how poultry packaging cartels fix prices. FCCPC boss. This is coming from Tunji Bello. So there's a cartel. It's not only in Aso Rock that there's a cabal.
There's a cartel everywhere.
There's a cartel everywhere, and they're fixing price. This thing about fixing prices is it doesn't now open the market. Now, when you talk about poultry, it's not just about white meat now. It's not just about chicken and all of that. You're talking about eggs as well. Sarah and I were having a conversation just yesterday, and she was saying how the price of a crate of egg now is about 6,000 naira, for crying out loud. This was once upon a time you could get for 1,115. It's now 6,000 over 6,000.
My brother complains every week because he has to buy a crate of egg. He has two children and they love eating egg every day. One at home, one for school. So if you do the calculation, 2 times 4 times 7. I mean, you understand why he's always complaining. So it's really not a good time this time around. But what you can't blame this cartel somehow, because I won't call them cartel. I'll say an association. Every manufacturer, marketer, they have an association. They come together. They do these things. Even when you talk about motorists and bus drivers, and they have a cartel. They have an association. They come together and for their own. They talk about things and they be like, okay, fine. Let's put a price on. They agree on it. Now, it depends on where the agreement is coming from. Is it coming from a place of, it's because of the economic hardship and, for us to be able to make profit, we have to increase it, or they are trying to fatten
Well, I beg to differ. There's a place where an association now mutates into a cartel.
Yes.
I mean, if you take a look at the NURTW, for example, you have members themselves who decry what the so-called cartel put them through.
Yes.
So I guess the association must have become a cartel somehow, which is a problem. Really.
So how do we even nip it in the bud? That's the thing. And all this is because of the economic hardship. I mean, if we are getting all these things cheap, if we are getting anything or the resources cheap, you wouldn't have to be worrying, or you don't have to worry about fixing prices. You would just sell and make profit. But because of the whole economic hardship, that's why a lot of things are spiraling out of control. And I just hope that from now till December we would see light out of the tunnel.
All right. I like it. I like it when you sound optimistic, Olumide. Now, there's this other story on the front page of the Vanguard. It says, workers poorer now despite pay increases. That's coming from a former NLC chief and former governor of Edo State, Oshiomhole.
It's good that it's coming from the APC. I mean, at least, so tell your boss. Tell your
Yeah.
boss, maybe he's not aware. Tell him. And it's good it's coming from a former governor also. So he can, relate the message upstairs and tell them that, look, Nigerians are poor. So this 70,000 naira that, and then there's this, I don't know whether you've heard, I've been told that even the National Youth Service Corps, they've not been paid their 77,000 naira. And you wonder that, this has been signed into law. You've even said you go after the private sector who do not pay this amount. Why not start from your backyard? But it's though some people are saying, oh, in some states they are paying us themselves, but why not just effect it across board? What is really happening? I think even the EFCC should get on their on their toes and find out why is this so. The federal government should also find out. The DGNYSA should also find out why is this. Has it been approved? That's the first thing. Has it been approved? Has the money been released into the coffers of the NYSC? Then now find out, has it been released to states? What is hindering it? Because, these people, you've taken them out of their comfort zone into another place. And the least thing you should do is at least give them their stipends, the actual amount they are supposed to be paid.
And to think that when the federal government announced that it was going to be paying coal members 77,000, there was an applause.
There was an applaud.
Across board.
Across board.
But now look what's happening. Plus, there's something, Jermaine, you said. The NYSC is a federal government program.
Yes.
It is national.
Yes.
It is not the state's responsibility to pay these coal members.
Because I remember when I was in service, all I was hearing is your federal government's property. This your leg is federal government property. This is your federal. So we were walking around with some form of immunity. You could. Before you would be arrested, it had to go through some form of process and all that. So, let's start from our backyard. That's what I have to say about this.
How do they say charity begins at home?
Definitely, charity begins at home.
Yeah.
I think this is as much as we can take for the newspaper review. So we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we take views from the net. Stick around.
Foment, foment, foment.
Byblos, founded as Gibel by the Phoenicians in some 7,000 years. Byblos received its name from the Greeks, who imported the papyrus from this city in Lebanon. For centuries, the city has been the main exporter of papyrus to Greece. From the 4th millennium BC, the word Bible is derived from Byblos. The main sites of the city are ancient Phoenician temples, Byblos Castle, and the Church of St. John Mark, built by the Crusaders in the 12th century, as well as the medieval Old Town walls. The Byblos International Festival, majorly a musical festival, is a more modern attraction. Located 40 kilometers from Beirut, the city attracts tourists from all over the world, with its unique mix of beaches, mountains, and ancient ruins.
It's a breakfast cafe right here on High Impact TV. I am Vivian Uguche, and right opposite me is Olumide. So this segment is very interactive. It's called Views from the Net. We push out a question on social media and you get to make your contributions. So this was what we asked. What is that thing you want before the year ends? Let me begin with you, Olumide. Is there something you want before the year ends?
Isn't it obvious? What we all want.
No, tell me, what do you want?
Money.
Gosh. I can almost, you're so predictable. Money, that's all you want.
That's all Nigeria
That's all you
wants.
want.
Money.
Not a mansion in Echo Atlantic.
Money will get that.
What if it's a gift?
Money can still get that too.
Gosh. Olumide is so predictable. But let's find out what our guys are saying. Melody from Benin says, money, that you will think I did money, you know, for obvious reasons. Okay, that's Melody, just like Olumide, money.
This next one says, I want a new phone and a system before the end of the year. My phone is really bad and I have a lot of videos to take and edit, but due to a bad phone, I can't even do anything. I'm hoping on God. Timilolua from Onikpan. Timilolua, I hope you get a phone and a laptop.
Thank you, Temi. I also want a new phone, a very costly one. Well, this one says a furnished, you see, this one says a furnished 2-bedroom apartment. This is Odukwe from Lagos. I dig you, Odukwe. It's nice. Thank you.
Now, this one says, I need a big freezer for my business. Miss K from Ogun State. Well, that's not bad also. Okay, I think this one.
Okay. I want to start my own business in fashion, something I've dreamt of for years, but never had the courage or resources to begin. I'm working hard to save enough to kick-start it before the year ends, and it will mean everything to me to finally see my designs come to life and be shared with the world. Shadi from K2, thank you.
You know, I'm waiting for someone who will say, I want to meet my better half or something, something. Before the year ends. I mean, that's something to want to do.
Yeah, but these other ones too, they're valid, yeah?
Yeah, they are valid. This one says, this year I really want to travel and spend quality time with my parents back home. I've been away for years focusing on work and I miss them terribly. A visit home before the year ends will be such a blessing to reconnect and relive memories. Musa from Sango. I think I too want to travel out, but alone. Just for me time. I mean, I really, really want to take a leave, get out of the country, just go somewhere and just spend that solitude and just me time, you know,
Yeah.
just me and me alone.
All
I
right.
need that.
So let me guess, do you want to go to the Caribbean?
An island, yes, preferably would be nice. An island very close to the beach, and you know, a very nice hotel where I can just order room service. You know, I don't really have to walk 2 steps to where my food is and back to the
Really?
bed. I really don't want to do anything. I just want to just tuck myself in bed,
Yeah.
eat, think, and just be at peace.
And maybe at some point go out, you know, and lounge just by the
By
beachside,
the
under the
beachside,
sun,
you know, taste new food, you know, and all that, drink new wine and all that. That's just it.
Yeah, I like it. It sounds good. Gosh, you're whetting my appetite. Well, this one says, my biggest wish is to publish my first book. Aha, this is serious. I've been writing since I was a child, and I've always dreamt of sharing my stories with others. If I could make that happen this year, it will be a dream come true. Unika from Surulere. Awesome.
You know, I've tried to be a writer so many times, but I will just start and I'll just give up.
So maybe one of your dreams, Olumide, this year should be to complete a book. How many of them do you have uncompleted?
No, I just have. Funny enough, I even sometimes I would ask a couple of friends who are in the movie industry that what's up. I have this idea. What do you think? How can I build on it? And I'm like, awesome, just do it. And you know, but then again, I just wake up and you know, I'm this type of person that I have ideas, different kind of ideas. I switch from different ideas. So when another ideas catch my fancy, I move on to the next
Yeah.
one.
So
and all
as the ideas are dropping hot like that, maybe you should drop them down. Who knows? There might be an author in you. I might be reading one of your books in future. Guys, let's make Olumide do this. Well, this one here says, I hope to secure a promotion at my current job. I've put in a lot of hard work and sacrifices, and this promotion would really boost my career and help me contribute even more to my family's future. David from Ikorodu. Oh my God, this is such a noble cause, David, and I do hope that your dreams come true.
This one says, I want to go back to school and earn my master's degree. It's been on hold due to financial limitations, but if I can start this year, it will open up so many opportunities to advance my career and learn new skills. Bola from Ikeja. I used to want to take a new course. I wanted to study law at some point. I'm not sure I have that flair anymore, given what is happening in this country.
But do you know you would have made a good lawyer?
Well, I never really saw myself as a lawyer, but I just like the profession. I like everything about. There's a particular series I watched, and it made me, you know, I fell in love with the profession. I just love everything they do in court, how they use bogus words that probably might mean something. You know, I just love the way they go about their cases and all, how they can twist certain scenarios, you know, with evidences and all, how they can even rubbish an evidence. And, you know, it's quite a beautiful profession if you look at it very well, but it requires a lot of studying.
It does. But the way the thing is in Nigeria, the judiciary has been dragged in the mud. I don't know how many people would still have a flair for that profession, though. But there are very good lawyers, I must tell you. Well, this one here says, this year I really hope to complete renovations on my parents' home. They've given so much to me, and being able to provide them a beautiful and comfortable home would mean so much to me. Emeka from Owerri. Emeka, I'm applauding you.
Yes,
it's a good one.
It's a good one, because to build a house these days, it costs an arm and a leg. Literally, it costs an arm and a leg, because if you look
Well,
at
it doesn't, Olumide. There are buildings springing up everywhere in the country.
How much?
I'm gonna tell you, very costly ones. But the thing is, what I'm looking at is his intention, the motive there.
Yes, that's why I'm applauding him,
Okay.
that he did a good job, because to think about it, to build a house,
Yeah.
let's be ridiculous and say, okay, just 10 million. Now, how much will it take you to save every month, every year, to get to 10 million?
What if he has a good job? What if he's a businessman?
Probably working at an oil company.
Maybe.
I want to think
Or a business owner himself.
a businessman, not
Yeah.
a civil servant.
And guys, building a house doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Don't listen to Olumide. It's just money it costs.
All right, this one says, I want to learn a trade or a skill this year that will give me financial security. Jobs can be unpredictable, but a personal skill will help me learn or help me earn independently and support my family, no matter what. This is Amina from Canada. I quite agree. These days, a one income job is not cutting it. You have to have, you know, multiple streams of income, and to have a skill it's freedom. It's an open door to do so many things. You can have your 9 to 5, you can have your personal side hustle and the good thing about it is you can determine the pace, you can determine how much income, you can determine how much resource you want to put into that. It's a beautiful thing to be able to have a skill and use it to, you know, earn something for yourself.
I mean, that was a good one, just like Olumide said. I know for a fact, Olumide, that lots of women now are looking into doing, what's it called, local soap.
Yes.
The local soap.
Local soap, skincare, and all that.
Yeah, and they are making mega bucks, so they are able to take care of their family and all of that. So it works. This one says, I am hoping to finally pay off all my loans and live without debt hanging over my head. Getting a fresh start financially would make me feel so much more free and able to focus on future goals. Tunde from Lekki. I can relate, Tunde. I mean, when you're off debt, when you're debt free, it makes you feel brand new. Nice one.
I can actually relate because I mean, so I think some couple of days back, someone called me and he was like, "Oh, if I'm still servicing a debt and I'm almost done paying, maybe just 2 months, can I borrow more?" And I was like, "What?
Why do you want to borrow more?
Why do you want to borrow more?" But
probably because he needs more.
Yes, exactly. So I understand, you know, the feeling of being able to be debt free. Even if you don't have debts, just paying bills, you feel like you're paying debt. You know, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, are we just living to pay debt? You know, because at the end of the month, when the salary comes, half of it you've paid your bills, you have half to just buy food stock, and you're just left with probably your transportation and just something little, and you're wondering, like, you're back to square one. By a week after salary, I mean, you're back to square one.
And life shouldn't be like that.
Life shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
This next one. Okay.
That's you? No,
yeah,
you go.
This one says, I would love to be able to buy a car to make commuting to work easier. Now, public transport is hard, and having my own vehicle would help me be more efficient and spend more time with family. Fola from Egbeda. Fola, let's look at this very closely. Now, using myself as an example, if I have to, okay, it takes about 3 to 4 or 5,000 naira to buy fuel into the car to get me to the office. Now, if I'm going to go through public transportation, it takes, but to and fro, that's back and forth, 1,000 naira. So you have to also do the calculation well to know that will it cost more or less to take public transportation or take your own vehicle, because these days people are dropping their cars at home and all that. It's only on very, very important occasions that I actually have to drive. Sometimes I just leave the car, because when you calculate how much fuel you have to buy, 10 liters these days is more than 10,000 naira. And, you know, to really get by in Lagos, you need at least 10 liters to be comfortable and say, okay, I want to drive and not be looking at my fuel tank, my fuel gauge, and whatnot. So you have to also understand. Then also cars these days cost an arm and a leg. Sorry to say, to use that word. Cars, the price of cars.
And you have to maintain your car.
And you have to maintain. And God help you, you buy what we call Tokumbo. Now we have grade 1 and grade 2. We have Tokumbo, then we have Nigerian used. Tokumbo means, okay, probably it was used, but it has not been used in Nigeria. It was used probably by a white man who used it well, and it was brought to Nigeria. That's Tokumbo. So sometimes you might be lucky you get some spare parts of the car intact. Maybe the tire and all that is still in the boot. Sometimes you might be unlucky. Even the car stereo might be removed. Nigerian used means it has been used by a Nigerian, and God help you, a Nigerian who knows how to maintain cars.
Yeah.
So all these things, when you factor all these things, and even a Nigerian used car is still expensive. Don't talk of Tokumbo.
Gosh, Olumide, if someone wants to get a car and he listens to you, he or she will not just buy a car in Nigeria today, I'm telling you. But the thing is, our last contributor from Egbeda, I think he was looking at the comfort.
Yes.
When you have your own car, it's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
You don't need to listen to these very rude conductors back at you.
Yes.
You don't need to sit like packed in a bus like sardines. You're comfortable, and God help you have a good job. You're able to fuel your car.
And it's much more comfortable moving around at night with your car. It's much more comfortable than hopping from one bus or cab to another.
Yeah.
It's much more
So
comfortable.
may your dream come true is all I say. This next one says, my goal this year is to complete my health and fitness journey. I've struggled for years, but I've been making steady progress. If I can reach my target by the end of this year, it will be a major personal win. Ada from Enugu. Well, Ada, all the best.
I like this next one. I want to save enough to rent my own place, which would give me a sense of independence and stability. Moving out and standing on my own feels like the next step for me to grow. Usman from Aja. Usman, I like that. But some people still enjoy the comfort of living in their parents' house, and I wouldn't blame them because the cost of rent these days, that's another bill you have to think
That's
of.
another thing. But Usman says having his own place gives him a sense of independence, and it
Yes.
feels like he's growing. I can relate.
Yes.
This next one says, my goal is to learn more about financial investment strategies this year. I believe it's time to build a secure financial future, not just for myself, but also for my family. Michael from Ibadan. Thank you.
Michael, good idea, but have what you call shock absorber money.
What's that, Olumide?
No, you must have savings. Then you must have shock absorber. In this economy that we are in, anything can happen. So you must have something that shock absorber means an emergency. Basically, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Have an emergency money. Okay, we have Michael from Abuja. Michael, good morning and glad to have you back.
Good
My-
morning, Olumide. For me, I want to be addressed as Mr. and Mrs. by the grace of God.
Beautiful.
What did Michael say?
Beautiful. He wants to be addressed as Mr. and Mrs. Beautiful. He who finds a wife, what do you call
Finds
it?
a good thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Michael. And I wish you that before the end of the year. Michael actually said what I was talking about. That I mean, someone should actually want. It's a good thing finding a partner that you can wake up to breakfast in bed, lunch in Milan.
But
and
you know, I thought I could predict you, but right now you're acting very unpredictable. I was thinking you will say the normal Olumide I know. I thought you would say in this economy you want to go marry, you want to go get a wife. But you shocked me. Nice one.
Wedding cost, but marriage is a beautiful.
And I like that you're making a distinction.
Yes.
A wedding is just a ceremony.
It's just a ceremony.
Marriage is the real thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
it's a
think
good
wedding is just a show of that. Oh, we are both going to start living on our own. We're both in. We now have the freedom to live on our own, do whatever we like with ourselves. You guys just come and enjoy our food and all that, and that's it. But after that, it's the two of you.
Is it two of you?
I think let's take this next one. We have this one. I hope to travel to a new country, somewhere I've never been, to explore and experience different culture. It's a personal dream of mine to see the world and learn from different people and places. Fumi from Akure. Fumi just read my mind. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Travel to a new place, learn new things, maybe Asia or somewhere. I mean, something very new and, very strange.
Yeah.
And just,
Strange in a good way, yeah?
in a good way, exactly. Not in the midst of cannibals and all that.
For me, that too is one of my dreams, yeah? So I say, hey, may it happen. Now, my wish is to complete the renovation project at my family's old home. The house is filled with memories, and I want it to be a place where family gathers for generations to come. Obina from Asaba. Gosh, I like it.
I like that.
Awesome. Thank you, Obina.
It's good to want to keep that particular structure
Yeah.
maintained because, like he said, it has memories, childhood memories, and all that, and it gives you a sense of belonging. That okay, this is where I came out from. This is where I grew up. This is where I stayed. This is where I labored and all that. It brings a lot of memories, just like he said. And these days you have families selling their properties and whatnot and all that.
Yeah, these days you have families selling their properties, and I can tell you that there are some people who do not have good memories of the home in which they grew up.
Yes.
Where they just want to forget about it. But I'm glad that Obina has good memories of his home. And then there's something he said, that he wants to renovate the home so that there can be family gatherings. This is the Yuletide, guys. Christmas is just around the corner. So during the Christmas, New Year's, Easter, and all of that, he'll have his family come.
I can relate. I mean, when I was young, to my extent, extended family. Every Christmas we all come together in our family house. You know, it's just a one family, uncles, aunties. We play outside till like late in the night. You know, we have these fireworks and all
Wow.
that. Back then we used fireworks and everything. It was lots of drinks, food and everything. It was amazing.
So it's a huge family reunion.
It was a huge
You should
family-
film it one of these days, yeah?
It's been way back when I was in secondary school, and you know most of my family are out of the country, and you know and all that. But I actually missed that experience.
So do you have a dream to have another family reunion again?
Well, we tried that, but well,
It didn't work?
It didn't work. It didn't work. But most people don't want to really come back to Nigeria and all that.
Would you blame them?
You blame
Yeah,
them.
but okay, so this is my dream. I dream for a beautiful Nigeria. I dream for a Nigeria where you will be happy, just be happy, and be proud to be a Nigerian. That's my dream.
I dream for a Nigeria where you can actually spend 10 naira. That's my dream. It's a good dream.
It's a good dream.
Where you can actually
Oh,
spend 10
Olumide,
naira.
Yeah, okay.
Or
Are you
spend
saying-
coins.
Well, spending coins, I don't know about that. Can that ever happen again?
It should happen.
It-
In other climes, they're spending
Coins,
coins,
yeah.
they're spending cents and all that. But in Nigeria, 1 naira and all that.
But you know what you just said is true. So in the Nigeria of today, we can't spend 10 naira anymore.
What can 10 naira buy actually?
Gosh.
I don't even know what
50
50 naira
naira.
can buy these days. I mean, even 100 naira transportation.
Okay, well, puff. One small puff like this is 50 naira.
50 naira. Okay. I like how you said it. One small, even 100 naira these days cannot get you from point A to B. So, I mean, and these are notes that probably might be printed again and all that. So, I mean, what is really going on?
Okay, so we'll end this on a good note. Can we hope for a better Nigeria?
Yes, I would like to hope for it. I mean, when I
No,
was
just say
in,
you hope for a better Nigeria.
you know, reality, looking at reality and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope
Good.
for a better
Gosh.
Nigeria.
I had to pull that out of you.
In all the economic realities, I hope for a better Nigeria.
Same here. And on that note, we wrap this up. It's been awesome. Thanks to you guys for your contributions. And thank you, Michael, for calling in from Abuja. We'll take a short break. When we come back, the show continues. Stay with us.
As a child, what is most important to you is love, warmth, acceptance, and security. But as you grow, there is a paradigm shift in the way you approach life. The interest you lose in some things, you peak in other things. Sometimes, the road is smooth. Other times, it is rough. Every step of the way comes with a new hurdle to scale. You win some, you lose some. You laugh hard, you cry hard, but at the end, you look back with a fulfilling smile and say, "What a ride." High Impact Television equips you with what you need every step of the way.
Something big is in town. Something powerful and majestic. A mammoth creation destined to become a legend by all who encounter it. High Impact Planet, Nigeria's biggest family theme park, with facilities designed for friends, families, or large groups under a relaxing atmosphere. Be welcomed by wowing displays of animatronics, thrill out with realistic arcade games, or enjoy a number of thrilling heart-racing park rides. Experience the 5D and 12D cinemas, and challenge your mates with bumper cars and go-kart races. Don't forget to slide into the ice rink, or simply take time out to enjoy a pizza at our delightful restaurant and dessert spot, or at the exquisite club lounge. High Impact Planet, 12 Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Ibafo, opposite MFM Prayer City. Visit high-impactplanet.com for details and inquiries. Fun just got real. Tease your taste buds from a world of delectable choices. High Impact Planet. Fun just got real.
Welcome back. It's still the Breakfast Cafe, and this is where we discuss topical issues. You can also call in and, of course, take part in the conversation. So the topic for today is customary law versus statutory law in land ownership in Nigeria. But before our guest comes in, let me give you a quick backstory, a quick introduction into what we're about to discuss. Now, customary law and statutory law in land ownership in Nigeria represents a complex legal landscape where indigenous practices interest with formal legislation. Now, customary law, which is rooted in traditional and community-based practices, recognizes land as a collective resource managed by families, chiefs, or village elders with rights of inheritance and use passed through generations. Now, however, with the introduction of statutory law, particularly the Land Use Act of 1978, land ownership and control have become centralized, vesting authority in state governors who now allocate and revoke land rights. This dual system creates tensions and legal challenges as the formality of statutory law often fails to account for traditional land ownership practices, resulting in frequent disputes. Now, the conflict between customary and statutory land rights impacts individuals, rural communities, and urban development, particularly as rural landholders often lack formal titles and face land displacement risk. Now, in response, many advocate for reforms to harmonize these systems, promoting a legal framework that recognizes customary land rights alongside statutory provisions to ensure fairness and security in land ownership across Nigeria. I remember there was a time when you had something similar like this in our sister station, High Impact 102.1 FM. And I also remember there's this law that says, I think the land belongs to you for 99 years, if I'm correct. And after that, you have to, I think, reapply, renew, and all that. But has anyone ever crossed that 99?
That's the thing. Well, you have people who live longer than 100 years. But the thing is, when do they take ownership of the land? And then when do they pass on? So the onus now lie on the family to ensure that the generations coming behind the owner have access to the land. I think that's where renewal comes in.
Yes.
Yeah, but it depends on the kind of land owner. Okay, so the producer says the law started in 1978, just like you said.
So it's not 99 years
Yes,
yet.
not 99 years. It started in 1978. It's why we are going to be having a professional analyst who will come talk about it, because there are different kinds of ownership.
Yes.
You have the lease, you have the freehold, you have the customary one, like the one you talked about.
And, you know, I think that was part of what caused the rift between Wike and some landowners in Abuja. And he was like, the land belongs to the federal government. He was saying a lot of things. And they were saying that, okay, they had an agreement with the federal government that, okay, if you are going to take us out of this place, out of this settlement, you're supposed to provide another place for us. That should have been the agreement. But sometimes they just take them out and, you know, they're left displaced with no compensation and all that. And I think this is one of the things the federal government need to look at. Also, this Land Act of 1978 says it's not yet 99 years. What now happens after 99 years? Is the federal government going to revoke all lands and all that? So I think that particular law needs to be reviewed. Maybe we'll not have to do another one or something.
Yeah, I like the fact that you brought this up. Now, there are some families who have owned lands older than Nigeria.
Well,
but the 1978 land laws gives the governor the right to allocate and to revoke. So how about my family owning a land that's even older than the governor, and then you now come on board to say you can revoke, you know, the ownership of that land for one reason or the other?
Well, since it started in 1970, so that law, so that 99 will start counting from 1978, not before 1978, because the law was passed. So even if you had that land 50 years before 1978,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It would start reading from 1978. 99 years will start reading, and after 99 years, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but the thing I'm even saying is the morality of that law itself.
Yes, that
is it
law.
even right for something that's been in the family for generations, and then for some reason, because of a law that came on board in 1978, the governor now has the right to allocate and revoke? Yeah, but you know,
And
where there is
also-
no law, there is anarchy, right?
And also in a situation whereby states are being created, what happens also? Are you going to now say that these particular people who have lived in this... Abuja, before it became the federal capital, it was a settlement. People were living there and all that. So what now happens when you, just like this battle for, or this split between Oyo and Ibadan, what now happens to those who are residing in Oyo and those? Are you, if the new government comes in, what is going to happen? Are you going to now say, oh, you're going to take this land for so person? You know, it's a whole lot of things that, you know, and that's why a lot of people have, you know, criticized the Constitution, in the sense that the people who wrote that Constitution were not necessarily politicians or lawmakers. It was written during the military era.
Yeah, but they had politicians and representatives of the people who were part of the Constitution, the making of the Constitution,
well,
right?
Did
but
they really?
Yeah.
Were they really in the interest of the people themselves, or were they just written, I mean, a constitution that says with 5 credits I can become president, but if I want to apply for a job, I must have NYSC and every other thing involved?
Well, I remember we were having this argument or this debate with a colleague in the office not too long ago, and she said this thing about having 5 credits. How about those people with 5 credits and who have had professional trainings, like the military guys? You know,
I think that's another question. But you know, just like you rightly said, this thing about governors being able to revoke and allocate, it's something we really need to discuss, because we have different administration. One governor can come in and probably maybe is someone who you know, or someone you've had
problems with,
and he comes in and, you know, revokes. I mean, it's something we really need to really look at. Should the Constitution really allow this? Should there be a process to revocation of land and all that? And what now happens if, I mean, if just like you said, a family has owned a land for a particular generation and one governor comes in and revokes that land, what now happens to that family? Would there be any compensation and all that? I mean, these are things that we really need to get into in a perspective.
I know one of the reasons where why there is always conflict when it comes to land ownership is always tailored around, or mostly, the CFO.
Yes.
The certificate of occupancy?
Yes.
Which is one of the things I would like for us to ask our guests when he comes on board. By the way, he's Barrister Evans Ofeli. He is a legal practitioner, and we do have to we hope to have him any moment from now. What happens when there is an issue surrounding the certificate of occupancy? If it is gotten illegally or fraudulently, and there happens to be the intention to repair the damage, what happens?
Another question I also like to ask is, I don't know whether you've heard of this case whereby they call them the Omonile.
Yes.
They sell a particular land to 5 different people, and you're wondering.
Exactly.
Now, I've seen a case, this one even happened in my own family, whereby, okay, we got this land from the real owner, the father. The father died. The children now went to sell that same particular land that we got to someone else.
Oh my gosh, that is fraudulent.
It was quite a tussle. Cut the long story short, we allocated another land.
No, wait, don't cut the long story short. I mean, because we've got time. So what happened? Did you get your money back?
No, we allocated another land.
Fine.
Do you understand?
By the same family?
By the same family, just to let peace reign. Now, according to them, they said they were not aware. I think maybe the man, maybe to avoid problems, sold most of his land to people, so that to avoid his children fighting over and all that. And they were not aware of that. Do you understand? So that was what happened. But to cut the long story short, they were allocated. So what happens in that? And a lot of people have fallen victim of that. But let's welcome our guest. He is Barrister Evans Ufeli. He's a legal practitioner. So glad to have you at the nick of time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
All right, so let's jump right in. The first question is, how does the Land Use Act of 1978 impact customary land rights, and are there any legal exceptions that protect traditional landowners?
Well, yeah, before 1978, there's what we call freehold in Nigeria. Freehold means family owns land by virtue of ancestry and dynasty. People own land by virtue of conquest, by virtue of first placement, hereditary, dynasty, and the rest of that. So land is practically owned by native law and custom. In 1978, during the Obasanjo's regime, that dispensation was discarded. The Land Use Act was promulgated, which now took land ownership, okay, and entrusted in governors of state. It not like it took land away from community or families, but it took authority over it and vested it in governors who hold in trust for the people. Okay, so freehold was abolished. So what we now have is leasehold.
Okay.
So the families who now own this land, now when they sell or when they want to develop all that, they will have to apply to the governor for a certificate of occupancy for 99 years. Now, that certificate of occupancy is what we call legal title. Okay, but when the family owns it by virtue of native law and custom, we call it equitable title. So, in urban areas, you need a certificate of occupancy. In rural areas, not necessarily you need that because it's governed by the local authority and local government. But the trust of law is that you can either own land by native law and custom, by equitable title, or by legal title. So if you have a C of O, you own it by legal title. Now the governor is not expected to mismanage the land or lease it or give certificate of occupancy to his friends and all that. It's supposed to be guided by certain principles. That a land that is marked for overriding public interest can be revoked. The ownership can be revoked from the family and be used for maybe a park, a hospital, whatever it is, for overriding public interest. But where a governor revokes ownership of land and mark it for overriding public interest, and it turns out that it is not used for that purpose, same can be challenged in court.
Okay, so Evans.
The bottom line is that what we should.
I was going to ask, in a case where a governor revokes land ownership for the case of overriding public purpose, like you said, is there provision for the landowners, original landowners, to be compensated?
There are provisions for the landowners to be compensated in the Act, in the Land Use Act. They must be compensated either by cash or by resettlement. Okay, something of value that is commensurate with what has been given or taken.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's move on. What are the major legal challenges faced by individuals who hold land under customary law? Oh, I guess we lost that call there. But we'll go on a short break and try and get him back.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Welcome back. It's still the Breakfast Cafe, and we have Barrister Evans Ufeli back on the. So you can continue with your submission.
I'm talking about
compensation.
the Land Use Act.
Yes.
Yes, compensation. That compensation is required. You know, the law didn't say you must possess a certificate of occupancy for you to get compensation. But most state governments, when they revoke, they'll be asking, you know, communities to go and bring certificate of occupancy before they take compensation. That is wrong. A government should give human face to administration. When you are put in position of authority, you do not, you know, abuse that by asking people to go and get certificate of occupancy before they get compensation. That is not the law. It's important we note that, and that once that purpose for which it was revoked is not carried out, those persons have a right under the law to go and challenge it, to call for that action for which you have produced the Gazette of government stating that you are doing all you intend to do. Some persons who have their houses close to the road have lost those properties because of many issues like this, when the road wants to be expanded and all that. And it is important that government pay this compensation and ensure that society, the governors who abuse this do not actually understand the authority given to them by law. The authority given to them by law is to ensure that there is peaceful coexistence and harmony in society. And that if there is a pressing need to have somebody's property or land or community land being used for providing public interest, that interest must be preserved. That is what should take priority.
All right, and I don't know if you are able to answer this in less than a minute. What now happens? You know, this Land Use Act of 1978 is 99 years. What now happens after 99 years? Would that be? We'll start all over again.
No.
What happens now?
Nobody in Nigeria has expended his 99 years.
Yes.
1979 days now up to 99 years.
Yes.
So nobody has expended it. Neither did the Act state what will happen thereafter after 99 years. So perhaps when we get to 99 years, the Act will be amended. The Act will be amended to define the next dispensation or direction. Before 99 years, Parliament at that time, I don't know whether it's going to be the 30th Parliament or 50th Parliament at that time, they will have to, in hindsight, project, you know, the expiration of that 99 years to ensure that they amend the Land Use Act to reflect the next phase of legislation.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Evans Ufeli. You've been brilliant. I do apologize for the network and all that, but this is as much as we can take. But thank you very much.
My pleasure.
You're welcome. Yes, just like you rightly said, we've not exhausted that 99 years, and hopefully, when we finally get to that 99 years, whatever parliament is there would find a way out of it.
Yeah, but I do hope that a way out of it is found before we hit the 99 years, so that there will be no conflict.
That's why I was even asking, so that we know what we're up for. Is it that we're going to revoke all land, or what's going to happen? It's going to be a free-for-all. Everybody grab what you can grab and all that. But this is as much as we can take on the Breakfast Cafe. With the next segment is Trending. Stick around and we'll be right back. Today marks a groundbreaking occasion at Mushin General Hospital, located in the heart of Odi Olowo Ojuwoye Local Council Development Area, where Block D has officially opened its doors to serve the community. This block houses the hospital's first ever eye clinic, a much-needed facility that will provide comprehensive eye care to the people of Mushin. With this new clinic, residents now have easier access to essential eye services, sparing them the hardship of traveling long distances for quality medical care. The commissioning of the event was attended by prominent members of the community, including the local government chairman, his vice, and the managing director, chief executive officer of Mushin General Hospital, along with a host of dignitaries and community members, all eager to witness this major step forward in healthcare for Mushin. The excitement was palpable as people recognized the importance of having an eye clinic in their own community.
We have started this section of Mushin General Hospital. When we came here, the objective behind our intervention in this facility is to make sure we make this place converting for the patient, conducive environment for the entire resident of Mushin, so that when they are pointing to other first-class health facility in terms of achievement, that is success story, in terms of the aesthetics of the environment, and of course in terms of building, which I know, even though that you said it has been on the pipeline, I know that very, very soon, you are going to see major intervention by Lagos State government in Mushin General Hospital.
The eye clinic, equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, will cater to a wide range of eye health needs, from routine checkups to specialized treatment. This addition to Mushin General Hospital is a critical step towards building a healthier future for the community, providing services that were previously out of reach for many residents.
We know some areas that we have not touched, we continue to touch those areas. We know some areas that we have not covered, we continue to cover those areas. But in terms of the covenant that we have with the people of the local council development area, we have done everything. But the reality is that the reality is that it's not possible for a government to complete or to meet all the needs of its people. So therefore, anybody coming after us will definitely continue from where we stop.
Through Block D, Mushin General Hospital not only enhances its capacity, but also reflects a promise to the community, a promise that quality health care will always be within their reach.
This hospital was actually in a dilapidated condition. But then I had to go visit all the stakeholders within the community, of course, which the executive chairman for Odiolowo Ojuwoye, local council development area, was part of it. And he was quite receptive. And for him, he's someone that is particular about the well-being of the community. And so he came along with his team. He visited the hospital back, scanned the hospital, and looked at the project that he could take up. And it only goes to show that, you know, for the well-being of the community is something that is particular about. And so he decided to help with the renovation of this unit.
With the commissioning of Block D and the opening of its first ever eye clinic, Mushin General Hospital is making significant strides in local healthcare. This facility stands as a beacon of hope, ensuring that every resident in Mushin has the access that they deserve to essential medical services right at their doorstep. Today's achievement is not just about healthcare, it's a testament to a community coming together for a healthier future.
This building, known as Block D, is hereby commissioned. The rehabilitation is hereby commissioned for the use of the residents of Mushin and Itema.
The video you just saw was the renovation and commissioning of Block D Mushin General Hospital by the chairman, that's Razak Olushola Ajala, the chairman, Olowo Ojuwoye, Local Council Development Area. I hope I got that name correctly. And also they opened an eye clinic, which is a good one for Mushin community. They can now have access to eye care, eye services, and all that. You know, this is the government giving back to the people. These are some of the things that we talk about. This is really good CSR, if I must say, and I really would like to also applaud, you know, those that, you know, took part and made efforts to make this really, really possible. I mean, renovating a hospital in the heart of Mushin, it will really serve the people who really, you know, need that thing.
Yeah, for me, this is a classic example of grassroots development.
Exactly.
Yeah, people don't have to travel miles to get to a primary healthcare center to have their needs met. So, kudos, it's a nice one.
All right, I think this is as much as we can take right now. We'll go on a short break, and while we're at it, let's have the weather forecast. We'll be right back.
I must say, talk about the producer, you have a good voice. You should think about going into the singing. Yes, I agree. But that's the size of our show today. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that contributed to making the show a huge success. But the bigger thanks to you for watching, and maximum respect to you, Michael, from Abuja, for calling in repeatedly. We appreciate it. I am Vivian Oguche. Have yourself a fantastic day ahead. Bye.
Don't forget you can also follow us across all our social media platforms at High Impact Studios, at High Impact TV, and the Breakfast Cafe _. I am Olumide Shokoya. See you tomorrow.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 56